Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for your all of you for your testimony and for your service to our country. My concern as a Marine Corps combat veteran is specific to the remains of those who have been lost, particularly in Afghanistan or Iraq, and certainly anyone lost in combat. And I can remember being in Iraq that there was extraordinary care and respect paid to those that that fell on the battlefield. And where I see the breakdown, whether it's with the Air Force at Dover or the Army at Arlington, is the fact that you have civilian personnel, whether by the Army or by the Air Force, that, number one, come from a different culture where that respect may or may not be there, but is not necessarily shared, but more importantly, are not subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice. When there is a violation of a regulation, it is in effect a lawful order, and uniformed military personnel can be prosecuted under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, where civilian personnel are not accountable to the Uniform Code of Military Justice for the violation of the same regulation. And I really think that if anything comes out of these hearings, that the chain of custody for those who have fallen in battle, that chain of custody for the remains of those who have fallen, must be by uniformed military personnel only. And because that is what is most upsetting about this, is that we're in this discussion saying, oh, things are getting better, oh, things are changing. Let me tell you this, if this all were handled, and I understand support services, and so I'm narrowly defining something that I really think ought to be changed in respect for those who have fallen on the battlefield, that I just don't believe we'd be in this situation right now. Having had a career between the United States Army and the Marine Corps, we're in the kind of discussions that we've had about the kind of dereliction of duty that has befallen Arlington and Dover. I know Dover is not a part of this discussion today, but I simply don't believe we would be here today if we were dealing. Now, I understand there's a broader question. We're talking about retired military personnel. We're talking about dependents. We're talking about other things. But if there's anything that as a combat veteran that I believe must come out of these hearings, it is again that only uniformed U.S. military personnel handle the remains of those who have fallen in battle. And I would open it up if anybody would like to comment on that. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coffman, and you raised a really good point about the UCMJ. We proceed to Mr. Runyon.